Are you looking to build a website or mobile application? Well, I'm Dan Melnick, and I'm the founder of Zeng. And I started this company because I had trouble finding good developers. I partnered with Qasim Masood, and he's in Pakistan. I'm in Austin, Texas, to offer cost-effective software development. We work in U.S. hours, and we're very efficient. We've worked with some of the top companies that you might recognize, like Last Media and AppSumo, and we'd love to help you out as well. So check us out, myzeng.io.
It's my pleasure, and it's good to see you again. I think we had this a couple of years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm very happy. So before that, before talking about your work, can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Yes, I'm Al Saavedra. I've been a computer type for a long time. My idea is to apply computers to achieve a sustainable economy. And there's many ways of doing that. Right now, my focus is on ESG, environmental, social, and governance framework for companies. I'm the VP of operations at Advance ESG, which is a nonprofit and our focus is on verifying ESG reports by companies and so on. ESG is something that is being adopted by many investors. Even oil companies are getting ESG input from investors, from shareholders. The idea is that the more information there's about sustainability, the better the chances are that we achieve a sustainable economy. Having said that, I'm all for ending the burning of fossil fuels as soon as possible to prevent a climate catastrophe. You're in India and you've been suffering from droughts and extreme heat and things like that, right? Yeah. So, to the degree that we can stop burning fossil fuels before we reach a point of no return, we have a chance. So I do all I can to give information to decision makers. You can see that on my Twitter feeds, Earth Accounting, Earth Agora, and whatnot. Advance ESG.
So it is a non-profit organization.
Yes. At this point, it is a non-profit organization. We're official non-profit organization. But then again, go ahead.
So working for this, helping companies in understanding this and helping them to give a better output. So how is this and how is this?
I cannot hear you very well.
Helping companies to know about this and understanding it.
Yes, well, the ESG movement started long ago, but it's now finally coming together. Companies are starting to report about their sustainability strategies, what they're doing, what their goals are, and so on. So we want to make sure that there's transparency and that the information delivered makes sense to investors and to stakeholders, including consumers, including citizens in general and whatnot. So that's my objective.
So you have been in this role for
a couple of years, and it's like I say, it's gaining momentum, but it hasn't reached what I call the critical mass. Boom. But it will one of these days soon, hopefully, will reach critical mass. And like I say, an increasing number of companies are starting to put out ESG reports, and that's what we're looking at.
So how many companies are now into this?
How many companies? I really don't know, but again, it's increasingly significantly every month, if you wish. we will start linking to ESG reports and so on to let people comment on them about whether they think they're true or not. Because, there's a lot of greenwashing going on. Companies that say that they're doing something, but really they're not, or, so on. There's other things that they say that are useful. They're not, like carbon capture and things like that don't work very well. So we're trying to prevent greenwashing as much as possible.
So how this will work?
Well, the idea is that companies will put out ESG reports, and then we have about 4,000 people that have joined our organization, and then we'll publish these ESG reports, and we'll let people comment, and then we'll publish in social media and so on. Again, the idea is to spread the information about companies that are doing the right thing and companies that are greenwashing.
So what scale? Mid scale, small scale, the large scale. What scale of companies are into this?
All kinds of companies. I mean, there's all kinds of companies. Typically, public companies traded in Wall Street primarily. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. There's thousands of companies in Wall Street that are starting to produce these ESG reports. I don't know how many. It's a new one every day, so at least.
So this calculation, this ESG reports. So working into this and collecting the information and helping the companies. So how this is going to impact it globally?
Well, how is it going to impact?
Globally.
Well, I mean, all these companies are publicly traded companies, and to be very frank with you, in Europe, the ESG movement is further ahead than in the United States. And there's government organizations in Europe that are starting to say, this is what you have to report and how you have to report it and whatnot. Not so much in the United States yet, but it's going in that direction. So it's a global movement that was started in the United States about 30 years ago, but it's now spreading all over the world, and is most common in Europe than even in the United States right now. But it's happening all over the world, especially with companies that are publicly traded. They're trying to attract investors. Investors are becoming increasingly concerned about achieving a sustainable economy. Global warming, the climate crisis is a very big issue, but so is human rights, and so is governance, and so on.
So what's your mission? What's your goal?
Our goal is just to help achieve transparency in ESG reporting and making it very significant for investors and for stakeholders, and like I say, including regular consumers that may want to buy more sustainable products, and also citizens that if governments get involved, that's one of the reasons why I have Earth Agora, is the political perspective of sustainability. The idea of getting the information validated so that, again, citizens can vote for something that makes sense from a sustainability standpoint, because some companies are doing it, and investors that buy shares in a company because they're doing more to achieve a sustainable economy, and consumers, so on. So the information has to be out there, and it has to be validated, and so on. So that's the whole idea.
So as an Vice President Operations of Advance ESG, so can you tell more about it, when it started, and about your team and
Well, Yeah, we started about 2 years ago, like I say, but we're a nonprofit, so we're trying to get more funding that we have right now to get it all done and so on. So we're moving forward. I wish we could move forward faster, but that's what we're doing. That's our intention. And there's an increasing number of organizations that are starting to focus on providing software to companies so that they can collect the information they need to produce the ESG reports. There's about 10 companies that provide software for ESG reporting to companies so that they can produce ESG reports more easily. So we're keeping an eye on them too.
So your team is 4,000.
Say again?
There are
We have,
4,000
yeah,
members.
if you go to Advance ESG, we have about over 4,000 uh, people that have signed up to be volunteers to check these ESG reports and so on. And these are people that care about sustainability and know about ESG reporting and so on.
So how do this work? How do companies needs to know about ESG and how they are going to make it work?
Well, it's not trivial, obviously, but companies have to collect all the information they have, they, they can get about such things as the carbon footprint of a supplier, the uh, the recyclability of their plastics, all kinds of things. But all that information has to be collected from the supply chains, from internal operations, and so on, and then put together in a way that can be understood by people from the outside and checked as well. But we're not doing this. We're not selling the software to do that. We're just checking up on it. That's all.
So these 10 companies are helping with the software to collect the information.
Yeah. There's, like I say, there's about 10 companies that have software that allows companies to collect the information to produce the ESG report.
So you have been in IT industry for a long time.
Yeah,
You have seen
yeah.
how computers work and computers are today impacting and helping humans to for the betterment of the society. And now you are into environment science and trying to help humanity in giving the uh, better society. So how is this and how satisfied you are being in this role?
Well, the big thing in the computer industry right now is artificial intelligence. And, there's artificial intelligence. You have to look at things from what I call the pyramid. You have at the bottom, you have data. Above that, you have information, which is data about data. Above that, you have knowledge, which is information about information. And that's where artificial intelligence is. They look at the different uh, sources of information and they put together a conclusion based on the information they get from information. And that's knowledge. And that's where artificial intelligence is. Now, eventually, artificial intelligence will be able to produce all the ESG reports and so on. And artificial intelligence may be used to verify the validity of ESG reports and whatnot. Then again, artificial intelligence has other issues. It consumes a lot of electricity, as you know, and the electricity has to come from renewable sources. Otherwise, it has a negative impact on the planet and so on. So even artificial intelligence companies have to produce ESG reports about where they get their electricity and so on. So there are a lot of them, including Google and Microsoft, are installing renewables to power their artificial intelligence data centers, but it's not happening fast enough.
So Advance ESG is going to work for United States or
No, no, we're looking at the whole planet, but yeah, we're focusing in the United States right now, but we're looking at the whole planet. And, many of these companies in Wall Street happen to be global companies, so they have a footprint all over the planet. So, it's one way to do it, but um, there's other organizations outside Wall Street that make sense.
So how government is going to be supportive for this?
Say again?
How government is going to support this?
Well, hopefully governments, especially, are becoming more conscious of the fact that citizens that vote in democracies are becoming concerned about achieving a sustainable economy. The number of extreme weather events around the world is increasingly, and people are becoming aware that there's something happening with the climate and we got to do something about it. So these in democracy, especially, people are starting to vote based on that information they have about global warming. So governments are starting in democracies. Now, there's other countries, like especially China, which is not a democracy, that are leading the way in two areas that are crucial to achieve a sustainable economy. China is leading in the use of renewables for electricity production and the production of electric vehicles, electric cars. China is way ahead of everybody else. Now, per capita, there's other countries like Norway that are far ahead from China, but China is the second largest economy in the world, and it's doing a lot for achieving a sustainable economy. Maybe because the Chinese think several generations ahead, not just one election ahead. And I understand that, India is a democracy, and there's elections this year in India, right?
Yeah.
And I starting to look at whether global warming and climate change is becoming an issue in the politics of India, but the reports that I'm reading say that it's not quite there yet. What do you think? I'm curious about your opinion as to whether sustainability and global warming will be issues that some people in India will consider for their votes.
Yeah, that's what my next question is. India is one of the largest democratic countries on the planet. So, how do you think this is going to be helpful for the betterment of India, and also how this is going to be contributing to the planet?
Well, of course, India is, second largest country by population after China, I think. But if you look at the map of countries that are most threatened by global warming, India is one of the most threatened by global warming as we speak. The Indian Ocean is heating up, and there's problems with fishing in the Indian Ocean because the waters are getting too warm and the fish are going away and things like that. So India is going to be one of the most impacted countries because of what's going on with global warming. And obviously achieving a sustainable economy in India is crucial. So I hope that India becomes a leader as well. And India is doing a lot. There's electric car production that is happening in India, and renewables are gaining traction in India as well, but a lot more has to be done.
So, how many companies till now have been connected with Advance ESG and giving the reports?
Well, we're looking at, at any one time, we're looking at about 4 or 5 companies. But to be very frank with you, we're just getting started putting our reports out. So we're just getting started. But if you go to Advance ESG in Twitter, you can follow us.
And how you're putting yourself out in making people to aware about it?
Well, we're social media, obviously, but we're also starting to talk to companies directly and so on. and other organizations that care about sustainability. So we're just connecting with everybody that is interested in the subject matter.
So there are three aspects in this ESG. So how do you define this? Because in different countries it works differently.
Can you repeat that?
There are three aspects in this ESG. So in different countries, there are different governance and different you know
Yeah.
legal system. So how it will work?
Well, again, even if it's a dictatorship, even if it's the people have an influence on what happens as consumers, as investors, and like in China, where the government seems to care about achieving a sustainable economy. Otherwise, China will go away. China has been around for a long time. And one of the things I've done business in China, and one of the things I do believe is that the Chinese think generations ahead. Here in the United States, companies think, 1 quarter ahead or 1 year ahead at most. And, you know, uh, so that's it. But there's other countries where this doesn't make any sense at all. Like Russia. Russia is one of the leading exporters of oil, especially to India. India is buying a lot of oil from Russia. And, to the degree that India becomes independent of fossil fuels, it will help because Russia doesn't care about the environment. They have too much environment. Russia is the largest country in the world by geography, and they don't seem to care about global warming at all. At least Putin does not care about it. And they want to keep selling their oil, especially to China and to India. Um, and that is not good. But there's other countries. I mean, there's a lot of progress being made in places like Brazil, and especially Uruguay in South America, where I'm from. And there's a lot of parts of the world that are starting to look at it as something that they have to do. Like I say, surely Canada and North America in general. The Chinese are going to start manufacturing BYD electric cars in Mexico and things like that. So it's happening all over the world, not everywhere, but it's happening all over the world. Certainly Australia is doing a lot to achieve a sustainable economy, New Zealand and so on. And they're leading by example to other countries in the area and so on. In Asia, the one country that is not doing as much as they should is Japan, perhaps. But there's other countries that are doing quite a bit, including Vietnam, for example, which it's not a democracy as far as I remember.
So you have been in an industry from long time, and you have worked in the business side of the technology, and you have seen the business leaders taking decisions, giving consumable products and services, and the interaction between uh, humans and the products and the services. So you now you are trying to understand uh, and give the better service and uh, quality product to the
Not,
consumers.
not, not quality products, but products that are what is called eco-friendly, that are friendly to the environment, to the ecology. And the more eco-friendly products that are available, and the more uh, consumers become conscious about what they buy and so on, the better the chances are of achieving a sustainable economy. So we need to get the word out that this is what we have to do. And again, um, China may be a dictatorship, but it is also a capitalist country. Russia has become a capitalist. Capitalism has succeeded in becoming the framework for an economy that does well. And capitalism really it depends on what investors do and what consumers do, because, as long as investors and consumers become more interested in achieving a sustainable economy so that the future generations can live in this planet better than they do, we have a chance of succeeding.
Can you give some stats, globally, other statistics?
Well, the big figures right now is that, for example, electricity produced from burning coal has gone down as much as 30% in the last couple of years. And the amount of clean energy from renewables, from solar and wind, has increased dramatically. And the number of cars, electric cars that don't burn fossil fuel, is increasing all over the planet. Everywhere in the world, people are saying, maybe we should drive an electric car. Not only is cheaper, but also is better for the environment. So this is happening all over the world. And right now, all I can tell you is that based on I do some polls with people that know about things and whatnot. And the general idea is that we need to stop burning fossil fuels by 2035. In 11 years, we need to stop burning fossil fuel as soon as possible, much earlier than the COP25 said that we had to stop burning fossil fuels by 2050. That's what they decided 2 years ago, that that's what had to happen. It has to happen faster, or we may reach the point of no return. The point of no return is when whatever we do, it doesn't matter. The planet is going to get hotter. It's going to be a climate catastrophe that we face. And the point of no return, for example, could be when the planet gets warmer and the methane from the permafrost in northern Canada and Siberia starts coming out, and it becomes too late to stop global warming by not burning fossil fuels because methane starts coming out of the permafrost. That could be one point of no return. There could be other things that cause. Global warming is like pouring sand on the machine. And as you pour sand on the machine, eventually the machine stops working. There's extreme weather events. There is agriculture. The price of rice is going up because of global warming. The price of coffee is going up. I drink coffee, and the price of coffee is going up because of global warming. Chocolate is becoming more difficult to grow because of global warming and so on. So the food production, there's all kinds of consequences. The sand on the machine, for example, air travel. Air travel is becoming a little bit more difficult because of increasing air turbulence because of global warming. Global warming causes air turbulences more so than before. So even air travel will be impacted. And there's also a growing number of climate refugees. Somewhere, another statistic, there's about 200 million climate refugees in the world, people that cannot live where they used to because they cannot grow the food they used to grow, and they're starving, so they move. There's as many as 200 million climate refugees around the world, in Central America, in Africa, in other places as well.
So there are multiple aspects in this. There are industries, businesses, and there are countries, and no matter which government, they can be capitalist or democratic. So you're saying everybody has to be aware of sustainable economy and
If we don't achieve a sustainable economy, for your information, I turned 73 just a couple of days ago. How old are you?
I'm 32.
You're 32. So if you want to be as old as I am and be able to talk like I'm talking, we have to achieve a sustainable economy. because in 40 years, which is our difference, it's either a dead planet or a viable planet. Okay, so I'm not going to be around 40 years from now, but you're going to be around if we achieve a sustainable economy. If we do not achieve a sustainable economy, you and your generation are not going to make it. It will be the end of human civilization as we know it.
So, you're actually the double of, more than double of my age, and you have seen the evolution of humanity and the evolution of species on this planet. And how do you define this gradual change and the constant change that is happening on the planet when comes to the environment? You have seen all kind of things that happened in all these years.
Yes, actually, to be very frank with you, uh, as we all know, the fossil fuel industry knew that this global warming was going to happen. They knew that uh, 50 years ago, but they didn't want anybody to know about it. Okay, but global warming has become an issue because of the impact it has on the economy only about 20 years ago. And that's when people start thinking, well, maybe we should do something about it. And that's how things got started. About 20 years ago, things started increasing. And now we're in the moment that we may achieve critical mass of people that care about achieving a sustainable economy for future generations. And they're doing whatever they can as investors, as workers, as managers, as government officials, as consumers to achieve a sustainable economy where future generations can thrive.
So there is social media today. The world is interconnected because of technology. The countries are interconnected, and internet is making
It's making a
countries
difference.
to,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, the internet is making a huge difference because it's connecting you and I. I mean, you're in India and I'm in Los Angeles. So the fact that we can talk about these issues uh, and communicate with everybody through social media increases the probability that enough people will be aware of what has to be done and get it done.
So this has to be more than the business aspect that the leaders and the owners of the companies that they are doing for the consumers. They have to also be responsible for the environment as well. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. Companies, uh, government agencies, like I say, citizens, community. One of the things I'm trying to do, just to give you an idea, here in Los Angeles, there's an increasing number. California leads the United States as far as electric vehicles and things like that per capita. And on California also is one of the top states as far as electricity produced from clean energy, from renewable solar and wind and so on. So it's increasing, but we have to show the impact of what we're doing and so on. And it's all thanks to the ability to communicate via social media that makes it possible for people to vote for the right people and buy the right product and invest in the right company and so on. Social media is making a huge difference. Then again, social media can be used for negative purposes. We know that, but it can also be used for positive purposes.
So especially in democratic countries where public is going to decide, who is going to lead us and who is going to rule us.
Yeah,
And
the democracies. But then again, for example, China is not a democracy, but they're leading in renewable energy and electric vehicles. Again, they may not be a democracy, but they want to be around, 2, 3 generations from now, and they know they're even though they're not a democracy, they're smart enough to know that if sustainability is not achieved, China will not survive. I have my own theory about China looking at Siberia as their future territory, but that's another story.
But the experts, the scientists who are responsible to give this kind of reports to the governments, no matter their capitalists or
Not just to the government, but to investors, to consumers, etc., and to the government as well.
ultimately they are the responsible.
Yeah. That's people have to if all you care about is making a profit, it's not going to be good. But if you care about making a profit so that future generations exist, and therefore you have to protect the planet and the people. We also care a lot about human rights. There's some companies that may make electric vehicles, but they may use slave labor for some of the components. So we are concerned about that as well. People, the idea of companies have to look at certainly profit, but also the planet and people, the 3 Ps. And that's part of the reasons why ESG reporting makes sense. ESG stands for environment, social, and governance. Environment is all I have to do with the planet and global warming, whatnot. Social is about the human rights of the people that are associated with that company. And governance is how they make decisions internally.
You are the valuable, human, with your presence on this planet from long time. Your eyes and your ears and your senses have been collected a lot of information from a lot of years or a lot of time that you have spent on this planet. You have seen what happened 30 years or 40 years ago, and you're seeing what is happening now. Your your observation comparing that day to today, is going to be extremely valuable. So how do you define this
Well,
to
for
the
your,
to the future generation who is going to watch and listen to this?
let's just say that the next 10 years are critical. If in the next 10 years we do not achieve a critical mass of people around the world in all kinds of countries that are doing everything they can to stop global warming, in the next 10 years, it's over. The next 10 years are critical. And that's why decisions have to be made all over the planet to achieve a sustainable economy. Within the next 10 years, it has to become the one focus that countries have and companies have and people have. Otherwise, it's the end of human civilization as we know it. And, personally, I know I'm not going to be around, as long as you are, but I want to, before I go, I want to be able to tell myself that I've done everything I could.
So the startup owners, who are starting the new businesses and going to use different kind of energy, and they are going to watch this. And I have interviewed a lot of business owners, also a business owner, who is responsible for the oil and you know
For the
the
what?
I have interviewed an expert or the professional who is working also in oil industry from United States. The same what you have said, he said the same, and he's saying using this energy, how this is impacting humanity, and regularly they are working and they are seeing, and but still he's very responsible, as a human being, and he told the consequences of using fossil fuels.
Like I say, even the fossil fuel industry is starting to understand what will happen if the global economy is destroyed and nobody's buying their oil because nobody can afford it anymore. It just happens that energy from wind and solar is cheaper than from any fossil fuels right now. It's already cheaper. Okay. So that's good for profit, but it's also good for the planet. It's also good for the people, because if it's good for planet, it's good for the people as well. Okay. So things are happening. Hopefully will happen fast enough. You know, it's not guaranteed that we will achieve a sustainable economy, but if we don't try everything we can, we will certainly not.
Can I say already Tesla took this responsibility and being the inspiration to the businesses around the world?
We try what we can.
Uh, I can also see, space industry is also using the solar power and trying to reduce the effect.
Yeah. For your information, I was involved in solar energy 50 years ago. So that's when I got involved with solar energy. 45 years ago, something like that. So the technology is there. We have the technology. Let's put it to work so that we can achieve a sustainable economy. The technology is there. Certainly there's other problems that are going to have to be addressed, like the plastic pollution and all that. We don't have the technology to achieve sustainability when it comes to plastic waste yet, but if we focus on that, eventually something will happen.
So because of social media, the awareness is already started. People started knowing the do's and don'ts and cause and the effect of everything that companies are doing.
That's the idea. For your information, I started getting concerned about global warming through social media 20 years ago. So it's been around for a while. It's been around for a while. For your information, I was also the CEO of a social media company back in the 90s. So right after you were born.
So you are into user experience and all. You are also into the production.
Yeah, again, we have to get funded to do it, properly and whatnot. But again, that's what we're trying to do, and we welcome any volunteers, we welcome any investors, we welcome anybody that wants to cooperate.
So as a VP, operations, uh, in this 2 years, what did you observe and what kind of information and what kind of reports that you got?
We have not produced reports ourselves, but like I say, we're forming the volunteer organization to do things. But again, we're just getting started. This is just happening now. It takes a nonprofit is a little bit slower moving than a for-profit company. But again, that's what we're trying to do, and hopefully we'll succeed.
So what's your social media presence?
Again, Twitter is a big one. Excuse me, X. Don't get me going on that. But we have Earth Accounting, Advance ESG, Earth Agora on Twitter, and I think I sent you the names via Twitter in the message and so on. So that's our main focus. But certainly we will use other social media whenever it makes sense. TikTok and Instagram are not for us at this point. Facebook is different. So Twitter is the action.
So ultimately, the decision makers are the observers. Are going to have the reports and the information about this.
Yeah, again, decision makers are the top of the company. Executives are decision makers, but certainly are the investors that invest in this company or that company. And certainly consumers make decisions as to which product to buy, and government officials make decisions as to what law to promote and so on. So decisions are what makes the economy function, and better decisions with better information is what we're looking to promote.
Do you have a mechanism or or a software or artificial intelligence that you think that is going to work in helping
No,
and
no,
understanding the production and the consumption?
not yet. Again, we're going to take advantage of the fact that we have 4,000 volunteers that care about the subject matter, that will give their opinions, and then we'll have to rank their opinions and let people interact to exchange information and so on about what they know about a company, uh, and hopefully will help everybody make better decisions.
So tell me about your team.
My what?
Your team.
Well, our team is very small right now. We have about 10 people in our team. Okay, we're trying to grow that, but we're all volunteers at this point. We're looking for funding to make things happen more effectively. Okay.
So at last, how Advance ESG is going to contribute to the world?
Again, we're going to get the reports. We're going to analyze them through our volunteers and then publish our opinion about the reports. And hopefully our reputation will be such that people will trust what we say.
So no matter which part of the planet they belong to,
No matter.
and what kind of a government is going on in their country.
It doesn't matter.
What's your message to those business leaders and investors and the governments?
Well, my message is: do you want your children to have a future? If you do, we have to achieve a sustainable economy. If you don't care about your children, you don't care about the future, then all you care about is how much money you make today, then you're not with us. But if you care about the future, your children's future, your country's future, your company's future, then you got to start getting involved in achieving sustainability.
And do you have a message to the influencers, social media influencers?
Well, I guess we are influencers. I have more than 40,000 followers on Twitter, but the message is: let's do everything we can. Otherwise, social media will not exist in 20 years.
So
Maybe artificial intelligence will survive. It'll become conscious, and it will decide to achieve a planet where it can survive. But that's not good for humanity at this point.
So how with this social media the accountability is going to be and the regulations and the governance?
Well, there's all kinds of issues, with government influence in social media, with companies' influence in social media. There's all kinds of things happening. I mean, this is what happens in the public square. The social media is a new public square. Democracy started. You know where democracy started?
No.
It started in Greece in what is called the Agora. The Agora was the market outside Athens where people bought and sold whatever they produced and other people wanted to buy. And they started discussing how to govern and so on. And that's where democracy got started, in a market. Okay? Outside Athens, 500 BC. So, that's the social media now is the new agora, if you wish. Is a new place where people exchange ideas and whatnot. Now, there's evil people. We know that there's evil people. But the majority of people are not evil. Okay? And to the degree that they can exchange information, they can exchange ideas, they can get to know each other through social media, the better. Now, certainly there's bad influences in social media, all kinds of things happening. Don't get me going. but there is people that are getting together and organizing through social media for good purposes.
So what are the things that you will tell to those positive influencers, who are trying to have the transparency and give the better society and the better world to the next generation?
Like I say, do everything you can. One thing you want to do before, if you're going to die, you want to be able to say to yourself, I did everything that I could. Whatever I could do, I did to achieve future for future generations. That's all. Make sure you do everything you can so that you can die in peace.
But experts like you, experienced people like you, giving them the information what happened, long time ago and now, trying to tell the difference between it and how it is going to be impactful to further generations. Like you are going to, be the torch bearer, those people who are actually growing.
For actually,
As an experienced professional or experienced human being who has been on this planet for a long time, saw the change happen.
yeah.
And
Well, like I say, things change. Technology changes things. All kinds of things change things. But right now, the one thing that is going to start changing everything is global warming. And we have to do everything we can to prevent it from becoming a catastrophe. Okay? So that's where we are now. We have never been in this situation. You can go back to the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, and until now, it was just, well, what technology will do, and consumers, and this and that, and we can drive cars, and we can turn on the light and watch TV and whatnot. But now things have changed. If we do not use all the technology we have available to end global warming, it is the end of human civilization. There will be no human civilization as we know it in the planet. And it could happen as soon as 10 years from now. So the situation now is very different than before. Before it was just, let's introduce this new technology so that people can live a better life and we can make more money. Now is, let's introduce this technology. Let's use this technology so that people can live in a civilization that will last generations. So things have changed.
one last question. You have been in industry working as a professional. Now you are into, the society and the social thing. So how do you define, you as a socialist and also a professional who works for the industry?
Like I say, the economy is based on decisions by consumers, decisions by investors, decisions by government organizations, and so on. To make decisions, you need to have information to achieve what you want to achieve. So information technology, which is what I've been involved with forever, is the idea of producing information that is useful for people to make the right decisions to achieve a sustainable economy. Whether they're government officials, whether they are investors, whether they're managers, whether they are CEOs of companies, whether they are citizens.
So can you tell your website to my podcast listeners who are listening to this?
Well, if you go to advanceesg.org, you'll see our website, advanceesg.org.
So your team is mentioned there, and your project, your mission is
It's all
explained there.
there. Yeah,
Great.
advanceesg.org. Okay?
I'll share the link, and also I'll put the website link in the description and on the screen, and also in my website as well. People who find this video anywhere on the internet and anywhere on the social media can able to see the work that you're doing, can able to understand, everything that you said till now.
And I appreciate it, Sai, and I look forward to the next time we talk. Okay? Let's
Definitely.
stay in touch.
Great, sir. So at last, we had conversation 2 years ago. You saw me, and now, you are seeing me today. So what is the difference that you are observing, and what do you
Well,
say about my work?
somehow your background is all white, which I think that was not the case a couple of years ago.
So what do you say about my global project that I'm trying to
Well,
interact with?
I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. I'm glad you're doing what you're doing, and I'll do what I can to help you. Okay?
So your observation is going to be very valuable for me. For me, trying to interact with the business owners, leaders, like you said, who know the governments. I'm also interacting with the people who are into government and also political leaders, and also trying to understand all aspects of the society and all countries, decision making, trying to understand, globally and trying to be a global species. So how this is going to be helpful for me personally, and how this project is going to contribute to the society and the planet.
Well, like I say, let's stay in touch. If we come up with something that could make the news, I'll let you know. Okay?
So can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Sure. Let me know. Send me the link. Okay?
Sure. Can I also put this audio and video clip on my podcast, website, internet, social media,
Sure.
everywhere with your permission?
Yeah. You have my permission. Sorry. Okay?
Thanks again for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Take care, sir. Keep going.
Take care.